dia pakainya dia.
Cek. Enggak mau ya. Jalan. Kok nggak ada kelihatan ya YouTube-nya? Susah banget.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Extra Multi Storytime di Kembali Tulisan yang Lombok.
Masuk.
Kiki.
Cuman agak ngeremeng.
Apa suara saya yang ngeremeng?
Kiki.
Yang jelas malah di situ mic saya.
Kalau YouTube nggak jelas.
Ya, itu keren banget.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam, nama budaya, salam kebajikan. Welcome to today's workshop on digital storytelling to promote cultural tourism in Lombok. Proudly organized by Tourism Study, Digital Business Study, and Management Study program of Budidua University in collaboration with Group Netherlands. Well, it is an honor and great pleasure to have all of you here, our distinguished speaker, honorable guest, respected lecturer, fellow student, and tourism enthusiasts, gathering to explore how digital storytelling can become a powerful medium for promoting and presenting the rich cultural heritage of Lombok.
Masih ngeremang ya Pak ya? Coba.
Di pause.
Oke.
Good morning.
Delay dia. Telat ya.
Emang gitu kalau YouTube.
Baru sekarang.
Ya,
Transfernya agak lama ya.
agak lama emang.
To begin our program with blessing, let us recite a prayer together. The prayer will be led by Dr. Agusai SS Ampu. Thank you very much. May today's event bring inspiration and good energy to all of us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya,
Cek.
and
Cek,
Mars Budidua University. Next, let's enjoy a special performance, a traditional dance from Lombok, Tari Gandum, presented by our performance study program.
Cek.
The Gandum Lombok dance is traditional dance from Lombok, Nusa Tenggara, Indonesia. It is usually performed by a dancer wearing traditional Sasak attire representing the island's indigenous culture.
Ada suaranya cuma tidak terlalu jelas. Tapi mungkin di YouTube tidak mungkin Pak ya.
Itu di YouTube. Yang
Kalau
ini
secara tidak menggunakan ini maksud saya.
kalau ngomong biasa jelas banget.
Iya sih. Udah hidrat. Oh yang mana itu Mbak? Udah hidrat diganti yang apa namanya? Yang salah kemarin itu yang ada ketindes on-nya itu.
Next, let's enjoy the special performance titled Dance for Lombok. Now, to officially open today's event, we would like to invite Dr. the Faculty of Humanities, Law and Tourism to deliver. Please welcome and the floor is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the highlight of today's event. Our expert session. The session will be led by Mr. Lawrence. Without further ado, to Mr. Eric and Mr. Moharis, the floor is yours.
Cek cek. Bingung saya. Audionya nggak masuk. Double. Coba. Kayak gimana? Sini duduk. Sini duduk sini. Di YouTube-nya masuk ke sini. Pengaturan audionya kah?
Udah sambungin kan?
Nggak tahu makanya. Udah.
This session will be led by
Malah masuk
Mr.
sini.
Moharis. We are delighted to welcome our distinguished speaker, Mr. Eric Coalition, who will share insight on digital storytelling to promote cultural tourism in Lombok. Without further ado, to Mr. Eric and Mr. Moharis, the floor is yours. Thank you very much, Mr.
Cek, cek. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of today's expert talk on digital. We have now come to the end of today's expert talk on digital storytelling to promote cultural tourism in Lombok. On behalf of the organization committee, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our distinguished speaker, our honorable guest, and our honorable guests and all participants for your representancies and enthusiasm. May today's session inspire us to use digital storytelling not only as a professional tools but and have a wonderful day.
Cek, cek, tes sound.
Tes, tes sound, cek. Cukup ya? Atau kurang? Cukup ya? Oke. Cek. 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 Cek 1 2 3 dicoba. Cek 1. Cek. Cek 1. Cek. 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 Cok. Cek 1 2 3. Cek 1. Cek.
Cek sound.
Cek satu. Cek satu.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Welcome to the Expert Talk on Digital Storytelling to promote cultural tourism in Lombok. Proudly organized by Tourism Study, Digital Business Study, and Management Study Program of Bumigara University in collaboration with PUM Netherlands.
It is an honor and great pleasure to have all of you here, our distinguished speaker, honorable guests, respected letters, fellow student and tourism enthusiasts. Gathered to explore how digital storytelling can become a powerful medium for promoting and preserving the rich cultural heritage of Lombok.
To begin our program with blessings, let us recite a prayer together. The prayer will be by Dr. Agus Syahid SSM Hum.
Good morning all. Okay.
Morning.
Good morning, rector, speaker, committee members, ladies and gentlemen. As first, I would like to invite us all to take a moment to pray, asking for blessing from Allah Almighty in order this agenda may run smoothly and bring benefits to us all. And allow me to lead the prayer in accordance with Islamic tradition. For those of you from different faith, you are most welcome to adjust according to your own believers. Oke. Mari kita menundukkan kepala sejenak. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, Ya Allah, all knowing and the most compassionate, today we gather in this event organized by the Tourism Study, Business Digital Study, and Management Program Study of Bumigara University with the theme Digital Storytelling to promote cultural tourism in Lombok. We humbly ask for your blessing, guidance, and mercy upon us all. Ya Allah, make this agenda a means to enrich our knowledge, broaden our perspectives, and strengthen our commitment to advancing the field of digital tourism with integrity, innovation, and benefits for society. Ya Allah, bless this university, bless our speakers, committee members, and all participants present here. Make every effort easy for us. Keep us away from anything that hinders the blessing of knowledge and make the outcomes of this event worthy of your pleasure. Finally, Ya Allah, let the knowledge we gain today become a guiding light in our step to provide the best service, especially in the development of digital tourism for the well-being of humanity. Oh, our Lord, grant us goodness in this world and goodness in the hereafter, and protect us from the torment of the fire. And all praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds. Thank you.
wisdom, inspiration, and good energy to all of us.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the Indonesian National Anthem, Indonesia Raya and Mars Bumigora University.
Please stand up.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Next, let's enjoy a special performance, a traditional dance from Lombok. Tari Gandru, presented by our performance study programs. The Gantrung Lombok dance is a traditional dance from Lombok, West Nusa Tenggara, Indonesia. It is usually performed by a dancer wearing traditional Sasak attire, representing the island's indigenous culture.
Please give a big round of applause for our dancer. Everyone, thank you for our talented performer for bringing Lombok culture to life.
Now, to officially open today's event, we would like to invite Dr. Titi Caryadi Biswati, MPD, Dean Faculty of Humanities, Law, and Tourism, to deliver the welcoming remarks. Please welcome, and the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu, and good morning everyone. Our distinguished guests, respected partner, dear students and teacher, our valued partner and stakeholder in the tourism industry, as well as the Honorable Keynote Speaker, Mr. Eric, and the Dean of Faculty of Economic and Business, the Head of Study Programs and Department of Universitas Bumi Gora. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing here on behalf of our university and the Faculty of Humanities, Law, and Tourism. Today's event is a collaborative initiative between the Faculty of Humanities, Law, and Tourism and Faculty of Economic and Business. And this collaboration reflects our shared vision to strengthen interdisciplinary learning and research, and then combining the creative, cultural, and digital dimension of tourism with the economic and business strategy that drive sustainable growth. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this one-day seminar is one of our agenda item in the faculty to expand the relationship between faculty and stakeholder and to enrich our students' knowledge through learning practice with international experts. Together with the Faculty of Economic and Business, which emphasize the entrepreneurship, management, and digital economy. And this event demonstrates the power of collaboration across discipline. And to our students and young participants, I encourage you all to take this opportunity to learn, interact, be inspired, ask questions, share your idea, and explore how digital transformation can enhance not only tourism experience, but also community empowerment and local economic development. And finally, I would like to express my heartfelt appreciation to the Tourism Study Program and the organizing community from Faculty of Economic and Business and our industry partner, PUM, for making this event possible. And this collaboration marked the beginning of more impactful program that connect academia, industry, and wider community. Thank you very much and wish you all an inspiring and joyful session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Dr. Titi Caryadi Biswati, MPD, for the inspiring words and for your continued support of initiatives that link education, digital innovation, and cultural preservation.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the highlight of today's event, our expert talk season. This season will be led by Mr. Muharis.
We are delighted to welcome our distinguished speaker, Mr. Eric Cornelissen, who will share insight on digital storytelling to promote cultural tourism in Lombok. Without further ado, to Mr. Eric and Mr. Muharis, the floor is yours.
Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, I'm actually very nervous here in front of you. It's my first time to be a moderator, but I will try to do my best. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our expert talk titled Digital Storytelling to Promote Cultural Tourism in Lombok. So we are truly honored to have all of you here, students, lecturers, tourism practitioners, creative storytellers, joining this session. And of course, we are delighted to welcome our speaker today, Mr. Eric Cornelissen, who has extensive experience in digital storytelling and sustainable tourism development. I would like to read a little or short introduction of him, Mr. Eric Cornelissen. It is a true pleasure to introduce today's distinguished speaker, Mr. Eric Cornelissen, a passionate speaker, marketing strategist, and brand developer from Netherlands. Mr. Eric brings more than 2 decades of experience in marketing, product innovation, and brand strategy. He has led numerous international projects that help companies grow their market presence and connect meaningfully with their audiences. Since 2011, he has been leading his own company, Cornelissen Marketing, where he works closely with a strong network of online marketing and communication professionals to deliver creative and impactful strategies for brands around the world. Before that, he served as sales and marketing manager at Dance Play Elephant, where he was responsible for global marketing operations across multiple countries with company revenues exceeding 42 million euros. His academic background is equally impressive, as we talk also on the car, right? Mr. Eric holds a Master of Science in Marketing from the Vrije University Amsterdam and a Bachelor of Engineering in Technical Business Studies from the Hogeschool van Amsterdam. He also participated in the Global Leadership Program at the University of North Carolina, reflecting his international perspective and leadership mindset. So I'm not going to read all because it's quite long. I'm going to read pantun for us, so please participate by saying cakep later on. Saya bacakan pantun ya. Sebelum kita ke Mr. Eric, I'm going to read the pantun. Is something like traditional, you know, a very unique rhyme and rhythm, AB at the last. Oke, jadi bantu bilang cakep ya. Siap ini, siap? Pergi ke Lombok melihat pantai. Ombak berlari di bawah mentari. Selamat datang tamu yang disanjung tinggi. Terima kasih hadir berbagi inspirasi. Oke. One more, one more, one more. It is in English. Walking by the beach at sunrise glow. The waves down softly calm and fair. Today our knowledge will surely grow. Let's warmly welcome Mr. Ari Cornelissen with care. Okay, thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to Arik. So I would like to start by asking your story. How was your childhood? Where were you born? And then how then you ended up with this such amazing activities today involving with us. So and then also about your education, and then your experience in building a company, own company, and how you inspire and how you motivated to do that, please.
Okay, first of all, I'm privileged that I'm here.
Okay.
And I'm sorry that I don't speak your language. I
Okay.
wish I could. Shall I stop every now and then? You can translate?
Ya, ya. Jadi beliau sangat bahagia. Saya translate ya, karena di sini ada yang dari SMA juga. Beliau bahagia di sini dan minta maaf karena tidak bisa bahasa Indonesia, dan sebenarnya beliau berharap bisa bahasa Indonesia. Okay.
Well, I'm born in the Netherlands, in a little village close to Amsterdam.
Jadi beliau lahir di Netherlands, di sebuah kota kecil namanya.
And I didn't know what to do for a long time and just did some things.
Jadi ya sama seperti waktu kecil kita, tidak tahu apa yang akan dikerjakan, kemudian ya begitu mengalir.
But it was marketing very soon. Somebody identified my talents and talked me into marketing.
Oke, dan dengan marketing atau penjualan, kemudian beliau menemukan talentnya di situ.
And I've always been doing marketing for all very technical companies, all for healthcare companies.
Jadi sebenarnya beliau selalu melakukan tentang pemasaran itu berkaitan dengan kosmetik ya.
Now,
Ya.
come to that later.
Ya, oke. Seperti itu, oke.
And I totally enjoyed it, and I had a very good mentor when I was young, who taught me very much about marketing.
Jadi ketika beliau muda memiliki seorang mentor yang mengajarkan beliau dengan luar biasa.
And he helped me to develop my real talent.
Dan mentornya itu membantu Mr. Eric untuk membangunkan atau menghidupkan talent beliau.
And storytelling is the red line through all my work in marketing.
Nah, sementara storytelling itu sebenarnya what is it called? Red line.
The first companies that I worked for had almost no budget. They had no money to do communication.
Perusahaan tempat beliau kerja pertama kali tidak ada budgetnya, tidak ada uangnya.
So the little money we had, we only could spend on the real most effective communication.
Nah, uangnya itu ada uangnya sedikit, tetapi digunakan hanya untuk digunakan untuk berkomunikasi.
And that's when you learn to become really creative with your time and with the resources that are there.
Nah, di situ dibutuhkan keahlian untuk menjadi super kreatif begitu. Okay, so that's how about what makes you motivate to do social things, as you told me, you do this not for granted. You do this for volunteering. Why? In your age, I think it is very important for us to listen also the story. There are many young boys here and girls I would like to listen about, and probably that will motivate us before we go into your materials.
The best thing you can get in life is to find your own talent and your true self at a fairly early age.
Hal yang paling penting dilakukan sebenarnya adalah menemukan skill atau talent yang ada di dalam diri kita, kemudian mengetahui siapa sesungguhnya diri kita itu di waktu yang sangat awal.
And it's often not very easy to find your true talent.
Dan memang tidak gampang untuk menemukan talent itu.
Because it's to recognize.
Karena sangat susah untuk menyadarinya.
But think of this. The things that are most easy for you might be very difficult for other people.
Ya, karena hal yang saya akan ceritakan mungkin bagi orang lain susah.
And if you reflect it for yourself and think about what do I find easy, and people ask me all the times to come help them with, maybe that's where your real talent is.
Jadi terkadang apa yang kita anggap talent itu adalah sesuatu yang tidak terlihat gampang atau itu samar-samar. Okay.
I found it out on a higher age, but ever since I feel blessed and lucky.
Dan beliau menemukan talent itu di situasi yang ada risiko yang besar.
Because the energy that you have then inside is endless.
Ya, karena kekuatan, kemampuan yang kita miliki di dalam diri kita itu sebenarnya tidak bertepi, tidak terbatas.
So yeah, focus on your talent. That's what I could tell.
Jadi yang bisa disimpulkan adalah mari kita fokus dengan talent yang kita miliki dalam diri kita masing-masing. Alright. Okay. Now I think you have a slide to present.
Yeah, I've got some slides.
And I will give you a time for your slide, and later on we'll continue with a little bit to dig out your presentation. Please.
Okay. You translate, eh? Yeah. Well, I made the presentation especially for today.
Jadi beliau membuat presentasi untuk hari ini khusus.
So that means I'm doing it for the first time in this way.
Dan beliau melakukan ini untuk pertama kali seperti yang teman-teman lihat hari ini.
So if you don't mind, I have to look at my peak sheet every now and then.
So jadi mudah-mudahan teman-teman tidak keberatan nanti akan nyontek-nyontek dikit katanya di laptop.
Everybody knows how helpful a good peak sheet is.
Ya. Jadi ya seperti itu. Okay, go on.
Okay, here we go. Well, we talked about me already a little bit. What we didn't mention is that apart from working in marketing and studying, I spent a lot of time playing rugby, being in the mountains, looking at history and art.
Can you one again, please?
Just one thing. It's the bottom line.
Oh, okay, this one.
The rest we talked about already.
I will read it first, okay? But
it's some you already took away all the information.
Okay, yeah.
So, let me tell you a story. This is what we're going to work through. There are 14 parts that I want to talk about. First
kita akan melewati ada 14 hari ini.
The subject is digital storytelling to promote tourism on Lombok, but I wanted to put it in a wider perspective of storytelling in general as well, because that's the most important thing. You can think of all kind of digital tools, but you have to have the story right first.
Oke, jadi 14 hal ini akan dibicarakan, kemudian akan disambung dengan tema yang kita miliki hari ini, yaitu tentang bercerita menggunakan digital begitu untuk mempromosikan pariwisata budaya di Lombok, dan akan banyak hal-hal yang akan disampaikan nanti. Dan hal yang pertama kali yang penting adalah sebenarnya harus ada cerita yang kita miliki.
So I'm going to tell something about digital storytelling in general.
Dan saya akan ceritakan tentang storytelling ini secara umum.
Why it's important for tourism.
Kenapa penting untuk pariwisata?
What is the role of emotional connection and authenticity?
Dan bagaimana peran atau apa peran dari emosi dan authenticity?
which role culture plays in storytelling.
Kemudian peran dari budaya dalam storytelling.
How you can use those stories as a real branding tool to brand your island, Lombok.
Oke, dan bagaimana kita menggunakan cerita sebagai branding dalam pariwisata.
I will go into which are the good components of a good story.
Ya, kemudian kita juga akan memberikan komponen dari cerita-cerita baik tentang pariwisata.
Yeah. We talk about video in storytelling.
Ya, kemudian nomor 8 nanti tentang video storytelling.
Then I will go into digital storytelling channels.
Dan juga kita akan bahas tentang channel digital storytelling.
How you can talk people into user-generated storytelling.
Dan bagaimana nanti cerita itu di-generate atau ada usernya nanti itu.
How you can tie in communities on the island into storytelling.
Dan bagaimana kita bisa melibatkan masyarakat di dalam storytelling.
How tour guides can play a very important role as storytellers.
Dan bagaimana
tourism.
Dan bagaimana kemudian masyarakat itu bisa berperan di dalam tour storytelling itu.
And then we bring it together in storytelling in destination marketing.
Dan nanti kita akan kombinasikan secara dalam satu bentuk storytelling dan pemasaran destinasi pariwisata.
The presentation will be available as a PDF file after this morning.
Dan materinya nanti bisa sediakan setelah presentasi.
And what I try to do to pack in as many sources I could find that are relevant on this subject.
Dan beliau akan memberikan banyak hal yang berkaitan dengan materi hari ini.
So in the main sheets you will find source and then the paper that's laying underneath the information.
Oke, sebab itu kemudian nanti ada dilengkapi dengan sumber segala macam di mana bisa akses.
But first something about PUM.
Pertama kita akan bahas tentang apa itu PUM ya.
PUM is a voluntary organization that I work for.
Jadi PUM itu adalah organisasi relawan.
Or working for is not really the right expression. I enjoy to be with PUM because it doesn't feel like working.
Ya, jadi beliau mengatakan bahwa sangat senang dan bahagia bersama dengan PUM ini.
PUM is an organization sponsored and supported by the Dutch Foreign Affairs Ministry.
PUM itu disponsori oleh
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Menteri investasi.
And it's founded in 1974.
Dibentuk atau dibangun di
1974.
1974.
A long time ago.
A long time ago, okay.
And the whole thought.
Okay. So, well, you guys, I think I'm sorry. Yeah. I will ask Mr. Eric to present to you all, and later on I will retell the highlight that might be important, and I believe you can also conclude later on. So I think you can go on to present the whole materials, and I will retell in a summary later on in Bahasa Indonesia. So now you can go on to present, okay? Because not like this, because it's going to be quite a long time to finish. Yeah.
PUM started in 1974, and the whole thought was that people with gray hair, like me, that have quite a bit of experience in a certain field and had a good living out of that, could give something back to the world and help entrepreneurs in other countries, in developing countries, to make a real step ahead. This is PUM. We are based in Den Haag, the HQ. We are with 1,400 volunteers in all kinds of expertise. There's a big staff, and we are doing 30,000 projects in 35 countries. And it's getting more and more each time we enter a new year. Here you see a few examples of the different expertises that PUM is taking a part of. Yeah, we tackle mostly every line of business that you can think of. And entrepreneurs in developing countries can apply for the help of PUM. And we come in, and we come for 2 weeks to help people out to make the next step. Our clients are mostly real game changers. They really do something extraordinary, something really different. And they have impact on the environment, social impact, economical impact, and they have a sustainable impact as well on their environment. I'm here for you, for the university, but I'm also here for Iwani, a Mataram-based company that is doing an extraordinary thing here on Lombok, and they produce sustainable skincare products with natural ingredients from Indonesia, and they take in local harvesters and help them to do sustainable business for the tourists on Lombok. So you will see them back in the presentations more than once, because they are really a true good example of storytelling and how you can do it, you can use it to address the right message. These are the countries that we are doing our projects. You can see we're basically all over the world. Some countries you can see a little star, that's where we will stop our activities because we've done it for so many years, and we're going to focus on other countries. That's it for PUM. Yeah? You give a summary? That's PUM. You want to give a summary of this? Okay. All right, digital storytelling to promote cultural tourism on Lombok. Well, let me tell you something about storytelling first. Storytelling is a commonly used tool in marketing, and what is storytelling? Storytelling uses narratives to connect emotionally with audiences and to create memorable brand experiences. Because when it comes to promoting a brand, you're connecting two worlds. It's the world of the brand and the world of the consumer that is consuming the brand. And what is connecting it? And that's the utility of the brand. And what you have to make sure of as a brand, and in this case we're talking about the brand Lombok, you have to make as clear as possible to the consumer what's in it for me. That's what they're looking for. You might recognize it if you look for something yourself on the internet and you hit a certain site from a product or a service that you are looking on. Then the first thing that you're looking for is what's in it for me? What does it bring to my world? How does it change my world? How does it improve my world? And storytelling is an incredible good tool to do that. You can see the lady here on the right. She was part of a Coca-Cola campaign, which was very successful with storytelling. It was the campaign Share a Coke. Maybe you recognize it. A couple of years ago, all of a sudden, the bottles of Coca-Cola, the place where the company name was, all of a sudden had another name. It was the names of surnames of persons. It could be your name, it could be my name, it could be Andrew's name, it could be anybody's name on the bottle. And by doing so, it was very smart of Coca-Cola. The bottle itself became a tool to connect with somebody else. And worldwide, people started chasing bottles with their name or the name of their friend to give us a present. There are stories about people who met because they put two bottles together and said, hey, look, that's you and I. Let's stick together. And it was amazing, and what it created, it was also creating millions of posts on social media, which brought invaluable advertisement for Coca-Cola. They couldn't have, if they would have done it with paid advertisement, they wouldn't have been able to finance that, not by far. So that's really storytelling, that you give the consumer a possibility to connect to the brand on the point where it has meaning for the consumer. And that's totally different than summing up all kinds of features and benefits. Why does it matter for tourism? Tourism is all about experiences. People experience things, and stories help people to really picture where they are going. When I was sitting home thinking about coming to Lombok, it's my first time in Indonesia, you have to know. I was really looking at the computer for where should I go when I'm there, what is nice to visit. First thing I saw, Mount Riani. I thought I might go there. I actually even brought my hiking boots. I didn't go there, but I brought them. I looked at the Gili Islands. I looked at many things, and I used the stories that I could see to get a picture about what I might be doing on Lombok. And I looked at stories. When I considered going to Mount Riani, I looked at quite a few YouTube films made by other tourists, what to expect. And maybe that's why I didn't went, because it will take 2 days. That's a bit too long, and I'm here, and I want to meet so many people, so I shouldn't do that. But that's how you prepare on a trip. And what you see here is a good example. This was done by the New Zealand government of tourism, and they created a campaign 100% pure New Zealand. And instead of keep telling people what they can see when they come to New Zealand, or what they can visit when they come to New Zealand, they start to communicate with videos, with music, with all kinds of things, what they can experience when they come to New Zealand, and what they can feel when they come to New Zealand, making use of the Maori traditions, and also the haka of the All Black team, and all kinds of things. So they communicated this feeling. For us in the Netherlands, New Zealand is the farthest destination you can think of. So it's not destination number one on our list. But through this campaign, it became, for a lot of people, instead of a remote island nation, it became a dream destination. People started saving money to go to New Zealand just because they wanted to experience that feeling. This is a very old guy, Confucius. This goes back thousands of years. A very wise man from China. And he told the world that there are 3 ways that you can learn something, that you gain wisdom or gain knowledge in 3 ways. You can sit back under a tree, reflecting in your mind, thinking about things, and that's a very noble thing to do it. And you might picture things that are important for you. The second thing is doing something that somebody else already did. And that's another way of learning, just rehearsing what somebody else did. And the third one is the hardest one and the bitterest one oftentimes, and it is explore and learning by experience. Now, if you think about that, most tourists are doing the second. They imitate other tourists, because there's not many people who come somewhere in the world for the first time anymore. We've been in all the places already. So it's the second one, it's imitation. And that's why storytelling is so important in tourism, because it helps us to imitate others. And it's based on very authentic feelings and emotions in ourselves. And this man, I think 3,000 years ago, already recognized that. Emotional connection and authenticity, that's also very important. People want to have an emotional experience that is authentic and they want to connect to it, but they also want to make it tangible, that they can bring it home, literally bring it home. What you can see here is me in Argentina climbing Mount Aconcagua, which is the highest mountain of the Americas, 6,980 meters high. And this is me with the team. And the man behind me is my rugby coach. And we didn't make it. We stranded 300 meters below the summit. But on that place, 300 meters, the highest I've ever been, I picked up 2 stones, 2 little pebble stones, put them in my pocket, and I thought that's a nice souvenir. And that's what this paper is about, that people like souvenirs to memorize the experience, to memorize what happened. What I didn't realize then is that my good friend Jeff, the rugby coach, would die on another mountain 2 years later. But what I could do on his funeral, give his son the 2 pebbles and say, this was the highest point that your father went. And the story continued. So souvenirs are extremely important in telling a story in tourism. You have to think cleverly about how you let souvenirs play a role in storytelling in tourism. I had my experience on Lombok already. I was in Sasak. I was in a Sasak village, sitting opposite this lady who was making a nice new cloth, and of course I bought one to bring it home to my wife, because I can really touch Lombok again when I'm home. And they do a clever job in that Sasak village by using the souvenirs to create some income, to tell the story, but also to enable me to bring the story home and to tell it to other people. And that's how things happen. You have it home and you say, oh yeah, that comes from Lombok, and you start telling. So souvenirs are extremely important in storytelling, and with digital marketing, it's another thing, but I come back to that later. But there you can also create real souvenirs that helps to tell the story. The role of culture in storytelling. Mr. Richard in 2018 did a research on what the role of culture is in storytelling, and he says that culture, he found it out, I studied a lot of cultures, that culture heritage offers very much content, so you can express it as well, with music, with dance, with rituals, with crafts, all kind of contents that you can use to do storytelling, and especially digitally. But if you consider that, you have to think about how can I use that in digital storytelling. And what you see here, this is the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. It's our biggest and most important museum that we have. The famous painter Rembrandt has the most paintings here. And what the city of Amsterdam did, they did a campaign called I Amsterdam. And you can see it in the sign. They played with the words. They said, I Amsterdam. So I am Amsterdam, I Amsterdam. They brought it together and they placed signs like this on the most important places where you could see the Amsterdam cultural things. Because what they found out is that people don't come to Amsterdam to look at it. No, they want to experience it. They want to feel the life in Amsterdam. So with placing those signs, then they enable people to express the feeling of, I am Amsterdam, I'm here, hello, I'm here, I am Amsterdam, to make pictures around this piece of art. And it was very successful. It was so successful that after 2 years, they removed all the signs because the place was blocked completely by tourists. They couldn't do anything else anymore. Streets were jammed, they had to stop it. And still today, we have too many tourists in Amsterdam. We are now thinking about ways to spread it more across the Netherlands because it's way too much. It's way too much. But this is how you use cultural in storytelling and also enable people to tell the story. Storytelling as a branding tool. If you want to do it more as not a campaign, but something that lasts longer, you can really think about using storytelling to really create a brand about a certain region. Because storytelling helps to build destination brands if you do it in the proper way. What you see here, you see, you can't see it's an island, but it's an island in the north of the Netherlands. And in the north of the Netherlands, we have the Waddenzee. And that sea is closed up to sandy area that with low tide falls dry. It's completely dry. And it's the biggest beach you could ever think of. It's incredible. And what the province of Friesland did, they sat together with the islands and they said, how can we make a compelling story out of this that will attract tourists? And they said, okay, we can tell a story about the tide that is the pace for the way we live here, the way we created life on the islands, and how can we give that experience to the tourist? Well, we're going to do the following, and they started that decades ago. We train tour guides that with low tide will give people the experience to walk from the mainland to an island. How about that? Walking to an island. Have you ever thought about walking from Lombok to Bali? No, you don't have low tide, but that idea alone, that creates memories that are way beyond imagination. And I did it twice myself, and it's a 6-hour walk, and you're in the water till here, you're in the water till here, you're in the mud till here. It's really a lifetime experience, and you also have to rush because the high tide is coming, so you have to move on. And that experience that you make it to the island and then stay on the island for a couple of days, that's something that you will remember for life and you will tell all your friends about. And that's what this region is using as a consistent brand story for the region. And it creating a lot of work for the tour guides. It's creating a lot of tourism for the islands, and it's an incredible platform for social media posts for tourists from all over the world that are standing in the water just with a nose above the water, with the camera high enough to take a picture, and they spread it throughout the world through social media. What are the components of a good story? Well, I mentioned a few things already. Authenticity is very important. People always want to experience authentic things. I have been here only a week now, but I've seen things here that are so authentic and that you can use as an island to tell your story. I've seen a lot of emotion. The nice welcome I got just yet with the 4 beautiful ladies dancing here, that's emotion that is transferred through the room. they are characters. They tell a story of their own. It's local culture. And the trick is that you do transformation to transfer it into good stories. Woodside, you can see the paper below. He did quite a good research on that. It's a very interesting paper to read, because if you read that paper, you got all the knowledge to do good storytelling in tourism. The picture on the right is the second reason why I'm on Lombok. That's for Iwani. That's the skincare brand. They do an amazing job for quite a few years already. And they really told all the stories already. But what was missing, and that's what we found out last week, and that was my mission here, to help them with that their story was not consistent. They had so many components of the story, but they were not putting it out as a compelling brand story. It was not a consistent story. And the circle that you see on the picture is what we worked out last week. And that circle now makes it very easy for them to tell their story. And the story is about the natural resources that they use, and they get access to that natural resources through the local harvesters, who they help to do sustainable business. For instance, you have to think about the Dayak people on Kalimantan, who are harvesting nuts from a special tree in the rainforest to produce Ilipi butter. And they use the Ilipi butter for their sunscreen. And what they tell to the local harvesters is, look, we keep buying from you year after year. That's what we promise you if you do business with us. So let that tree there and keep harvesting in such a sustainable way. And by doing so, they're giving that local harvester an alternative for selling the forest to a palm olive tree factory, destroying the original nature. And so they give them a reason to keep nature intact, and that's how they contribute at saving the rainforest. They do the same with the coral reefs. I've seen it myself last Sunday on the Gili Islands. They are doing reef preservation. You can see here a little plant that was planted by a little coral plant, planted again new by Iwani to build up a part of the reef that was destroyed, new again. And they help the local harvesters with all kinds of projects to do that. And it's a great story to tell. Here in Mataram, north of Mataram, they have the factory, and they make all kinds of skin products that are produced sustainably. They use sustainable packaging, and they do business through the hospitality service here on Lombok with all kinds of shampoos and body wash for the hotel rooms, but also with their reef-friendly sunscreen that they're selling to tourists. They're selling it directly to tourists. And the tourists, they feel good about themselves because they already feel a little bit guilty. They took the plane from Europe to come here, not very good for Mother Earth. So they feel a bit guilty. It is a guilty pleasure that they are here. But they make up because they buy reef-friendly sun cream from Iwani, doing something good back for the natural resources. So it's a full circle. And by bringing the compelling story together in a full circle, it's now much easier for Iwani to tell the story right, but also to focus on where can we help the people in the circle to tell the story. So they can think of things, how they can encourage tourists to tell the Iwani story to their friends. They can talk with the local harvesters, how they might think about content for Iwani to tell the story right to the world about the Iwani product. A great example of storytelling for tourism. So this is what we made last week. Iwani is now the brand with the purest skincare protecting rainforest and reef. That's something a tourist can remember and that he can tell to his friends. It's just a short line which sticks. And by saying that they are the purest, they claim something, they claim that nobody else is doing it better. So Iwani is a wonderful example of storytelling, also in tourism, because they are fully integrated into the hospitality business. This was last Sunday. This was the boat to the Gili Island. And you can see already how it works if you use a video to tell a story. You start experiencing what is happening there. And you're already making the journey a little bit. And this is another example. Here you see footage underwater of the restoration project. And this one is made by one of the local divers, just to help Iwani to tell the story. And the ocean and the reef itself becomes a character in the story. And by featuring this, tourists want to become a member of this Iwani movement. They want to become a reef guard. They want they take it for very seriously, that they need to do something about it. So Iwani is more than just selling the skincare products. They are really selling the good way of treating Lombok. And that's a great story. Then we go back to another very old guy, even older than me. This is Mr. Gutenberg, what you see in the picture. And he is the inventor of book printing. And it's an interesting story because he changed the world then with his book printing. And what he changed is the way that we could gather information and stories in a library. Before that, it was possible as a human being to have the knowledge of all humanity in your head. After that, it was almost impossible because there were so many books you couldn't read them all. But what the internet has done, and nobody really realized it, it brought us back in the Middle Ages. It brought us way back to that moment. And that sounds funny because you think it's high technology and how can it bring us back into the Middle Ages? Well, you have to think in the Middle Ages, people thought about going on a crusade to save a country. And the priest will tell them, you have to go there to save the world. And they looked at each other and they said, what do I need? And they could tell each other, because they had all the knowledge in their mind, what they would need. Nowadays it's the same, but it's not in our mind anymore. It's in our inner pocket because it's on our iPhone. We got all the knowledge in the world available at the place. So think about what it does with decision taking and speeding up things. It's incredible. But it has also a pitfall. And especially due to social media, you cannot rely on all the information that you get. Because everybody can tell a story. But is it the true story? Is it the correct story? You don't know. So you need storytellers that you can trust to really picture your world. And that's why good storytelling is very important. And if it comes from a trustworthy source, it's even more important. And there are many channels, of course. I don't have to tell you. Websites, social media posts, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels, travel logs, Instagram, Facebook story, podcast. There are many, many things that can be used to tell a story. But the thing is that you can think about digital storytelling. You can think about having a website, build up a social media platform. You can do it all. But the most important is that you have an authentic story that is compelling, that people can understand, and that they can relate to first. You have to really do your homework first before you enter all these channels. Otherwise, you will spend a lot of money, spend a lot of time, but have no impact at all. When I was doing the study at the Amsterdam University, I had the luxury of having the daytime for myself, and I tried to set up an online platform because I had a wild idea how I could change the world with my online platform. Spent hours of time, days, weeks, months maybe, spent a lot of money. No one bought my platform. I learned a lot from it, but I didn't have the story right first. So you have to make sure, whatever you do with digital storytelling, that you get your story right first. I brought some examples about virtual and augmented reality because that was in the application, if I could tell something about it. Below there you see a fortress thing that's close to my home. That's an old fortress that used to defend the city of Amsterdam if our neighbors from Germany wanted to pay us a visit, or our neighbors from France, because we have a wild history in Holland ourselves. But in that old fortress is now a studio that I work with together, quite a lot, to create augmented reality, virtual reality projects, especially in tourism business. The picture that you see on the right is in a church in the Netherlands, where we made a virtual tour, and by pointing the tablet to a certain corner of the church, you see added reality that shows you how it looked 400 years before, with people there who used the church. We even made films about the construction of the church, that you pointed in a certain corner and you see it's still under construction. And that's a great tool for people who are there to get another experience about what they are looking at. I can imagine that here on Lombok there are quite a few areas that are ancient, that are old, which might have a very good old story, but you cannot see it anymore because it's gone. But maybe if you look in the library, there are old pictures that you can use. There are maybe old movies that you can use to use it for augmented video things. I can show you a few examples. I hope it works. Always a challenge. Oh, I'm not connected to the internet. Sorry, I have to connect to Wi-Fi first.
Terima kasih sudah sabar menunggu ya. Kita akan ditunjukkan contoh augmented guide, kemudian virtual reality, tapi bukan dulu internetnya. Mohon bersabar.
Sorry for that. There are 3-4 videos. If you got the PDF later, you can click on the links and you can watch the videos for yourself. That's better than keeping everybody up and not working. Sorry for that. Augmented reality, you add something to the environment, and by putting your device in a certain direction, you get more information than you can see with your eye. And this studio is capable of making a lot of use of that. In this city is also a very old castle, and all the visitors of that castle have to park way outside the city because they want to have that in the old historic city. And to kill time, they made a route through the village to the castle on your iPhone, and along the route you can look at places in the route, and you can say, hey, there was an old windmill, and you look at your phone, you see the old windmill. So you don't mind parking far away because you got something to do from the parking lot to the castle. Other things are, for instance, a holographic showcase in a museum. It was a piece that was found in the Netherlands of the Roman time, that is 300 after Christ. It was the time that the Romans from Italy ruled almost the whole of Europe. And it was an old, the low part of a shoe. And it was in the museum, and it's a bit boring just to look at something that is not intact anymore. And what they made was a presentation that if you looked at the screen, you could push a button and then a holographic picture arised and you saw the whole shoe again. These are all kinds of tricks you can do with virtual reality and with augmented reality. You can also think about a virtual guide that is talking you through a museum. That you, at the start of the museum, you scan the QR code and you got the whole guide on your phone, and you got your earplugs in and you are guided through the museum. These are things you can do in tourism to make the memory last longer and to create a greater experience in place. Other thing that we do with this group is that we create virtual reality things to keep people away from touristic places. to make it less crowded. That we say, oh, you can come here, but we can show it you on our website too. And you can, or with your VR classes, you can experience the thing. Myself, I'm with a group of friends. I can show you. Oh, am I still on? We're disconnected. Myself, I'm working for a project, a UNESCO World Heritage project, and it's about the belfries of Belgium, France, and the Netherlands. A belfry, it won't mean a thing for you, I think, but it's a tower in a city with a clock in top. Actually, in the Sasak village was also a belfry, because the village was all those roofs with grass, and they have a tower to look over the village if nothing happening, if it doesn't get fire. And those belfries in Belgium and France are doing the same. They were built in the Middle Ages, and they are very nice buildings, but they are not telling their story. They are not doing anything to digitally to become famous. And what I'm doing now with the little research team is we're visiting all those towers and creating a website for it, where we tell the story about belfries. And it's an important story for that region, because for them, those towers mean that they experience freedom because of those towers. And it had to do with city rights. In those times, a city could get rights to become a city, and to make a fortified wall to protect themselves from evil things that surround the village. And they were allowed to have their own bell to ring in case of fire or in case of danger, and they needed the tower. And they depended on the churches and on the kings with the castles, but as civilians, they didn't want that. They wanted their own tower. So they start building their own towers, and that was for them a feeling of freedom. And that's why this is a project that is recognized by UNESCO and it's World Heritage now. And the orange one we already visited, and the purple ones we still have to visit. So we still got some work to do. This is an example of something we did with one of those towers. They have tapestry from medieval time, and the pigment is totally changed over the ages. And now with AI, we can show those pictures again like they were in the past. So we bring back the colors to the paintings on a cell phone. User-generated stories. That's really the secret if you want to be successful in tourism with digital storytelling. You have to enable the tourists themselves to tell the story. People want to tell their friends what they are doing. They want to connect with their friends while they're on holiday. And you should encourage tourists to tell the stories themselves. This is the Gili Islands. This is a picture I've brought from the internet. This was something I experienced myself last Friday, a pottery, and I learned that there's a lot of potteries on Lombok creating pottery, but they ship to the world through Bali. And my first question was, why? Why don't you ship it directly? Why don't you tell it's Lombok pottery? And they said, yeah, it's easier because everybody knows Bali. Yeah, then there's really something to do. And this lady was demonstrating how she was doing it, and she was clever. She kept asking me, try it yourself. Come here, try it yourself. And this lady who accompanied me, she tried it. I tried it myself too. I don't have a picture of it, but I felt the clay and I could relate to it. And I could think about the clay in the Netherlands that we used to make bricks, and I made a video, I made an image, of course, that I can share with my friends. And of course, I bought pottery to bring home and to tell the story. But this is a good example of all the things that I told before about souvenirs helping to take the story home. And there are many things here on Lombok that are genuine Lombok souvenirs that you can use for the storytelling, but also this is a good example for digital storytelling. Because you can make a film, you can see yourself making a pottery, and it's a great story to tell. So you create a stage, that's what you do. If you just do some clever thinking, you create a stage that you will know for sure that the tourists will make this video and they will send it out. But one thing is important, you have to stay in charge, you have to stay in control. And what helps if you offer the tourists also hashtags to use on social media to share the story, but think about clever hashtags. Underneath is an example of Iwani. We created the hashtag Iwani Reef Safe instead of Lombok Beach. The tourist can make a picture of himself on that Lombok Beach at the reef and say, hey, hashtag Lombok Reef. But it's a different one if you have Iwani Reef Safe as a hashtag, because that's one you can check on. And maybe you know, maybe you don't, there are a lot of online tools that you can use to monitor hashtags. So if you as a tourist industry on Lombok create some real genuine hashtags for Lombok, you can monitor them with online tools. You have to think about a tool called Hootsuite that you can use to just see who is using my hashtag and are they using it right. And if they are using it wrong, you can just go into conversation and correct them. And you're still in charge of your own hashtag. And involving the local communities to create stories that are authentic and benefits those communities is also very important. And this is really something that is something you have to be very sensitive about, very subtle about. Easiest thing is that you let a commercial company, like a big travel agency, international travel agency, steal the company, or steal the story, and just uses the local community to make pictures and tell the story, and they act in the story, but they are not co-creators, they are not involved in the story. And it's their voice, and so you have to really make them co-creator and let them have a real say in how the story is told, and that they are, that you make them capable of controlling the authenticity of the story, that not somebody just makes up a story. This is, by the way, a picture of Iwani. Again, a local harvesting project for coconut oil that they use for the sunscreen, and they using this community, helping this community to tell the story, but they also help the community to grow and give them reason to keep sustainable. Iwani even invests in schools in this area, so the people can send their kids to school and help them to tell the story even better. The tour guides, they are very important in storytelling. They can play a key role in storytelling. Maybe that's a good chance for the University of Bumi, for your university to train tour guides in this, because they are engaging with the tourist the most. They are on the spot with the tourist when they are going to make the stories, and you can make an influencer out of every tour guide if you train them properly. If you give them a selfie stick and teach them how to create a good story. because they are already translating the story of the island to the tourist, but they can have a much wider expand if they put it out on social media too. So this is the whole thing, that you integrate storytelling in all kinds of level to use storytelling in destination marketing, destination Lombok. How do you do that? You have to build up campaigns about Lombok, but first you have really get 3 or 4 key stories for Lombok that you can tell. You have to think about the circle that Ivani made, that you look at all the participants in that story, talk with them, let them help them with co-creating that story, and once you nail it down, that one compelling story, then you really can start about how you're going to transfer it into digital storytelling. If you look at the examples of virtual reality and augmented reality, think about the costs that are involved. They are very high. And have you got budget? Do you don't have budget? That already also plays a role in storytelling. But if you got the story right, then you can ask people to use their own creativity to bring it out into the world. And you're still in control of the brand that you want to expose to the world. And that's what I wanted to tell you today, basically. So I summarized a few key takeaways. So we learned today a little bit about the basic principles of storytelling in tourism, why it matters. We learned about that a little bit. The role of culture and local people, extremely important in storytelling. The composition of a good story, what are the components, what do I use to tell a good story, how video storytelling and maybe digital augmented channels can help. The role of the community and tour guides, they are extremely important. They have a key role in the tourism storytelling. And you get to know a crazy marketing guy from the Netherlands too. So that's it. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your listening to me. And I hope that I brought you something, at least.
Yeah, thank you very much. Give applause to Mr. Eric for sharing such an valuable insight and experiences. Okay, terima kasih untuk perhatiannya semuanya. Saya akan memberikan beberapa hal mungkin, tetapi teman-teman bisa juga memiliki kesimpulan sendiri bahwa beliau tadi start atau mulai dengan kalau mau memiliki brand atau merek itu harus clear, jelas. Kemudian ada unsur personal, menyentuh hal-hal yang sifatnya dibutuhkan. Kemudian harus ada pelibatan, engaging, merasa terlibat dengan memanfaatkan emosi, perasaan, dan nanti itu hasilnya akan baik. Beliau juga mengatakan bahwa pengalaman itu, pariwisata itu adalah pengalaman. Jadi melalui cerita akan memberikan kemampuan seseorang untuk membayangkan apa yang ada di tempat tersebut. Jadi cerita menjadi sangat penting, itu sebabnya kemudian perlu dibungkus dengan menggunakan digital, atau yang kita buat tema hari ini digital storytelling. Kemudian beliau juga menceritakan tentang kalau orang berjalan atau mengunjungi satu tempat itu, mereka suka dengan souvenir, karena di dalam souvenir itu ada cerita yang mereka bawa pulang ke rumah. Seperti tadi dicontohkan ada di Belanda itu, karena di situ kan kalau low tide atau high tide, low tide itu kalau air surut itu panjang sekali. Kemudian bisa merasakan bagaimana rasanya jalan sampai ujung air surut itu, kemudian kembali lagi, itu kan sesuatu yang sangat luar biasa. Nah seperti itu, hal-hal yang sederhana bisa dibuatkan cerita. Dan di dalam komponen pariwisata itu ada tadi dikatakan harus otentik, kemudian kembali ada transfer emosi di situ, kemudian ada karakter, kemudian budaya lokal, diberikan contoh-contoh tadi seperti disarankan ketika ada hal-hal yang menarik dari masyarakat atau cerita itu memang harus lahir dari rahim masyarakat setempat, sehingga itu dibuatkan dalam bentuk video cerita menarik dan itu disebarkan melalui kanal-kanal yang kita miliki. Jadi itu teman-teman yang bisa saya simpulkan, dan silakan bagi yang bertanya. Saya yakin juga di sini ada yang bisa pakai bahasa Inggris, silakan bertanya pakai bahasa Inggris. Yang belum bisa pakai bahasa Inggris, silakan pakai bahasa Indonesia. Nanti kita akan bantu untuk terjemahkan. Silakan untuk sesi pertama, we're going to open Q&A session. Right? Okay, so untuk yang sesi pertama maybe two, one from this side and one from this side if it is possible. Ya, oke. Silakan, mungkin Bu.
Okay, thank you very much for Mr. Eric. This topic is very interesting, so that's why I come here. And also I would like to share about some issues, I think. In Indonesia, as we know that, I remember an expert, an ex-ministry said that Indonesia has a great things, but a very few people can tell the story to the world. So related to this issue, I would like to ask, and I want to ask Mr. Eric to give a suggestion to the universities, especially for this university, Bumigora University, what kind or what aspect or skill that we have to teach or we have to put or embedded in our curriculum to prepare the student to be a great storyteller. So this is, as an expert and as a stakeholder, I believe that we need to see your voice, to put your opinion, in order to we can design a very good curriculum, in order to our student also can be a good a storyteller, because we need this kind of students, I think. This is my first question. But okay, later on, I have actually two questions, but probably this is
Good question.
yeah. Thank
Very
you so
good
much.
question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eric.
Are you going to answer that one, or
I think I understood it.
you go on? Jadi akan dijawab langsung ya pertanyaannya. Kira-kira tadi apa hal penting yang atau aspek apa yang perlu diajarkan kepada mahasiswa atau young generation, generasi kita, supaya bisa menjadi seorang pencerita yang baik, begitu. Kira-kira begitu pertanyaan Bu Dewi tadi, dan akan dijawab oleh Mr. Eric, please.
It's a very good question. You always have to think whether it's an island that people are interested in, or a brand or a product. They always look at it, what's in it for me? That's a question that they want to get answers to. So you have to find out, what are they looking for? What are their expectations? What are they hoping for? And how can we fulfill that? And a great thing you can do nowadays is just look at reviews from tourists, because they tell you exactly how they experienced Lombok already. And if my company does something for a brand, to find out what is the essence of the story, we make a big document with all the reviews that we can find from all kinds of platforms, from Google, from TripAdvisor, from any platform you can think of, that gives a review, in your case, about Lombok. And then we use ChatGTP to make a summarize out of it, and to make a ranking with the top 10 of most important things for the tourists that they were hoping to find. And if you got that list, then you really can think about what you know of your island and think about, okay, if they say that, then maybe this is an interesting place to go for them, or an interesting event to take part in. Or maybe we can offer this part of the culture to them. But the modern tools are there nowadays. And as a young generation, you know them maybe better than me, so use them. They're incredible. ChatGPT is a very strong tool to help you to really find out what, if you got a lot of data, to bring it back to something that you can comprehend, and it goes incredibly quick. And the best thing about ChatGPT is also that if you made a list, then ChatGPT will ask you the question, what would you like to know next? So he really starts to help you.
Okay.
Ya. Next question maybe, pertanyaan berikutnya. Boleh dalam bahasa Indonesia, silakan, enggak apa-apa. Di sini nggak ada ya? Oke, enggak apa-apa, di sini dulu. Yang sebelah kiri.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for the opportunity. So you see, when I heard about the Amsterdam or the Netherlands, what it reminded me of cheese, windmills, old buildings and stuffs. And I think it's impressive how the Netherlands is able to differentiate itself from other countries. And because we are particularly living in Indonesia and we are extremely diverse, particularly Lombok, I wonder what should we do to be able to stand out when there are lots of identities to embrace as Indonesian?
Can you say it slowly, please?
As I've told you, I think it's impressive how the Netherlands is able to differentiate itself from other countries. And because Indonesia is particularly really diverse, we have lots of other cultures, I wonder what should we do as Indonesian and also as people from Lombok to stand out compared to other countries or probably even other islands, in your opinion? Thank you.
So she's asking actually Lombok or Indonesia to Netherlands are very different. We are very diverse, so there are a lot of things to share actually. So she's asking actually your suggestion what should be done to promote or to in a way of sharing everything in order the world knows about our country or our island. That's actually.
Okay,
Am I right?
Thanks for the question. Well, maybe you already nailed it, and the diversity of Lombok is the thing that you should tell. I was amazed in the Sasak village to hear that there are 6 Sasak languages. I didn't know, but that's interesting. That's something you would like to hear. And tell the story like it is. And if it's a diversity, then it's a diversity. And don't get it wrong, the Netherlands is also very diverse. We have 4 languages in the Netherlands. You got many more, I know. But we got 4, we got 28 dialects. Nobody knows that they say the Netherlands. But we took just a few stories out that internationally are world famous. They knew our tulips, they knew our windmills. They think we all walk on wooden shoes, we don't. And it's funny because the tulips are not from Holland, but somehow it's connected to us and we are worldwide famous with it. And we said, okay, then we take that. We're happy with it. But you have to start somewhere. And if diversity is the story, it's a good story. That you can say Lombok, the island of many diversities. I think that's appealing. Does that answer your question?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Terima kasih. Silakan yang kita buka yang sesi 2-nya, juga 2 penanya. Seperti biasa sebelah sini 1 mungkin, kemudian di sini 1. Oke, di sana udah ada yang tanda tangan, angkat tangan, sorry. Oke. Boleh pakai bahasa Indonesia, silakan, tidak apa-apa. Di belakang baju hitam.
Yes, halo. Oke. Halo Brian, izin bertanya mengenai kontak digital storytelling untuk mempromosikan wisata budaya di Lombok. Pertanyaannya itu apakah peningkatan kunjungan wisata itu lebih disebabkan oleh kekuatan naratif budaya atau oleh daya tarik visual dan teknologi yang digunakan gitu. Maksudnya apakah kunjungan wisata itu meningkat karena kekuatan naratif budaya atau karena tampilan-tampilan visual yang ditunjukkan gitu. Itu aja, terima kasih.
Okay. So the question is the increasing visitations or let's say the improvement of visitors caused by narrative branding, I mean the narrative that built through stories, or it is because of the visual features in digital stories. So which one is dominant between narrative, cultural narrative, or the visual features that can improve the numbers of visitors coming to certain destination?
You have to do both, because if you think about it, if you think about learning, for instance, everybody learns in his own way, and sometimes you learn better by doing, sometimes you learn better by seeing, sometimes you just close your eyes and you listen carefully and you learn, and that's the same with storytelling, and you have to combine it, to do it all. And that means if you make a video, the narrative has to fit the video, and you have to think about making use of, for instance, subtitle service of YouTube,
Okay.
that people can read it in subtitles in their own language too,
Okay.
because then you make sure that you bring the story across.
Okay. Jadi beliau mengatakan kedua-duanya, yang tidak secara langsung mengatakan bahwa kedua-duanya yang apa namanya mampu meningkatkan jumlah kunjungan, tetapi beliau menyarankan bahwa antara narasi budaya dan fitur-fitur visual dalam video itu disatukan, dikombinasikan. Bahkan bisa dibuatkan semacam subtitle di bawahnya yang ada narasi tentang cerita budaya dan segala macam, itu akan lebih berdampak. Kira-kira seperti itu tadi jawabannya. Yang lain, silakan, bisa satu lagi untuk sesi ini. Oh, oke, sebelah sini ada satu lagi. Pakai bahasa Inggris, silakan, tidak apa-apa. Apa namanya, coba pakai bahasa Inggris. Hidup mic-nya, coba dites.
Tes satu. Okay. Can I read my question? In the context of tourism, how can we evaluate the effectiveness of digital storytelling in attracting tourists and strengthening destination image? And the second question, what are the potential risks or challenges that may arise from applying digital storytelling in cultural tourism promotion, and how can we address them? Thank you.
Ada dua ya, coba pelan-pelan dibaca aja, pelan-pelan.
Oh,
Okay.
The first question is, in the context of tourism, how can we evaluate the effectiveness of digital storytelling in attracting tourists and strengthening destination image? And the second question, what are the potential risks or challenges that might arise from digital storytelling in the cultural tourism promotion, and how can we address them?
Okay. The question. So I think the question is about the first one is how we can measure the effectiveness of digital storytelling. I think that's the question. and the second one is about the challenge or the problem that may arise when we implementing digital storytelling in promoting cultural tourism, something like that.
Very good question. Storytelling, if you want to find out how the impact is, it's about telling a good joke. You tell it a couple of times, and the more times you do it, the better the laugh you get. So storytelling is, you have to just try it out first. And that's where social media plays such a great role, that you really can give your best story a good chance and see what the interaction on let's say on Instagram or on Facebook or on TikTok is. And you just look and the feedback that you get. And that gives you a good indication if you got the story right. You can measure it by seeing if you're gaining followers, if you're getting likes, if you're getting comments. If you put out a story and nobody responds, then probably it's not a good story. So that's a good tool. If you do it on a higher level, there are tools that help you to scan the internet on everything that you put out with your story, and then you can also measure the difference between channels. With tools like Hootsuite, for instance, you can really look at different channels and see how your message is doing on each channel, and learn from that.
Oke, jadi panjang sebenarnya tadi itu, tapi kalau bicara tentang pertanyaannya kan bagaimana mengukur efektivitas dari digital storytelling itu, ya bisa dilihat nanti di komen dalam channel-channel yang kita miliki. Dari itu bisa dipakai sebagai indikator untuk mengukur apakah itu efektif atau tidak.
But also if you think about creating possibilities for tourists to engage in your story, you can think of using QR codes on some stages and ask them to share them.
Okay.
And then you can measure the QR code if they are used afterwards.
Oke, juga bisa dilihat ketika tamunya itu dia engage, terlibat di dalam sosial media kita, kemudian kita bisa berinteraksi dan meminta untuk sharing kembali konten-konten yang kita punya di dalam sosial media tersebut.
For instance, the Sasak village that I was, if they would have given me a little thing when I left, like thank you that you were there, with a QR code on it stating, if you use this QR code, you can back home read back our story. Then the moment that I hit the QR code, the link that's behind it could measure if I did it. And they could use the same piece of paper to ask me for a review on Google. And then you're also measuring result, but you also get back comments and feedback about how I experienced that thing. And if you integrate it in your storytelling, that you enabled tourists to take part in the story, then you start measuring.
Oke, jadi juga bahkan kita bisa minta feedback dari tamu itu supaya kemudian bisa dipakai untuk bercerita kembali. Jadi ketika sudah balik ke rumahnya, kemudian karena ada proses interaksi, meminta mereka untuk terlibat di situ untuk memberikan semacam feedback, masukan, itu akan menjadi sesuatu yang baik untuk melihat efektivitas dari digital storytelling atau memanfaatkan digital di dalam mempromosikan pariwisata budaya itu. Oke, bisa ditangkap ya? Saya rasa cukup. We still have any time, or we open the third session, or it's enough? Enough. Kalau masih ada yang bertanya, kita buka sesi ketiga. Kalau tidak ada, kita tutup. Tidak ada? Oke. There is no question, so we can close. Ya, terima kasih, Mr. Eric. Thank you very much for your such amazing explanation, sharing about digital storytelling, about branding, marketing, including how we can also, input story in digital form, so everyone can listen, even can watch, can understand and know even the culture of certain destination in certain places. So I think that's all for today, guys. Thank you very much for your attention.
I have one final question.
Pardon?
I have one last question.
You one last question? Yeah. Okay.
Can they help me to tell the story in the Netherlands? I want to tell about today in the Netherlands. Can they help me?
You will tell a story about?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I will make the ultimate selfie.
You want to make a selfie?
With them.
Okay, later on. We will have it later on, okay. You will do it now? Okay, please.
So I can tell the story at home. Okay. Hey, let's all go. Come on, hey! Thank you so much.
All right, okay. So give applause to Mr. Egg. So thank you very much. Again, the last from me, I will give to Master of Ceremony. Before that, the last one, I'll give you pantun again. So help me by saying cakep, okay? The last one. Bunga mekar di Taman Sari, harum semerbak menyejukkan hati. Telah disimak acara hari ini, semoga membawa ilmu dan motivasi. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the engaging discussion and to our participants for the soulful question. We truly appreciate your active participation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of today's expert talk on digital storytelling to promote cultural tourism in Lombok. Before that, we would like to ask the participants to take the photo together.
Dimohon untuk dipersilakan kepada Bapak Ibu dosen untuk berfoto bersama.
stand up and take a photo together.
Kepada
Dimohon untuk
seluruh
teman-teman
peserta.
mahasiswa untuk berdiri dan berfoto bersama menghadap ke depan. Terima kasih. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Dipersilakan untuk duduk kembali.
On behalf of organizing committee, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to our distinguished speaker, honorable guests, and all participants for your presence and enthusiasm.
May today's season inspire us to use digital storytelling not only as promotional tool, but also as means to preserve identity, share value, and celebrate the cultural richness of Lombok.
Thank you very much for your attention. We hope to see you again in our next academic and cultural event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good afternoon and have a wonderful day.
Alah,